Hi, I'm Lorraine Hirst from the Cooking Good Project, and I'm here today with Louise Stanbridge, and we're going to talk about sugar. Hi, Louise.
Hi Lorraine, it's great to be joining you today to talk about sugar. It's a topic that always comes up in my conversations with clients.
Excellent. Yes, sugar. We're always told we eat too much sugar, aren't we? And it's just really interesting because it contributes to so many different health issues, including obesity, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, and many more. But how much is too much, Louise?
That's a great question. And there are some government guidelines to help us. So I thought we could look at those and perhaps demonstrate them by using some sugar cubes. What do you think?
Brilliant. Excellent. I'm up for that.
Okay. Well, the guidelines refer to free sugars in inverted commas. And it's the name that's given to sugars that are added to foods and drinks. And sugars that are found naturally in honey, syrup, nectars, juices and purees. So it's quite broad.
So not all sugars are the same, are they? Because those we find in fruits and vegetables come with extra nutrients, don't they, including fibre. So we like to keep those in our diet.
That's right. That's right. That's where all the good stuff is. So shall we have a look at the guidelines? Shall I tell you what the numbers are? And I think you've got some sugar cubes there to help us. So for an adult, the guideline is 30 grams, which is the equivalent of 7 sugar cubes. There's 7.
That's 7 there for an adult.
Yeah, excellent. For a child aged 7 to 10, it's 6 sugar cubes or 24 grams.
There we go.
For children 4 to 6, it is 19 grams, which is 5 sugar cubes.
Great. And one of these sugar cubes is equivalent to 1 teaspoon, isn't it?
That's right. That's right. And then for the under 4s, I'm afraid there's no sugar cubes because the recommendation is they don't have any foods with sugar added to it or any juices or things like that.
No, indeed.
So shall we see how much sugar there is added in everyday foods, such as the breakfast items that I can see out the corner of my eye there?
Excellent. Yes. Okay. So here's some breakfast cereal. This is 30 grams, believe it or not.
Okay. Well, in there, that's a sugar-coated cereal, isn't it? So in there, there's the equivalent of three teaspoons.
Okay. So I'm going to put 3 teaspoons into this.
And I mean, there isn't very much in that sugar in that bowl at all, is there? I don't know if that's enough for you, but
no, it wouldn't be enough for my family.
Yeah,
definitely not.
And also, when we think about fruit yogurts, they have a lot of sugar in them. There's about 3.5 teaspoons in a standard sort of 120 gram pot, which is quite a lot. So I don't know if most people have a yogurt, don't they, in the morning? So
quite a few do. As we, you know how healthy yogurt is, but if it's got added sugar, there we go.
Yeah. The good old cup of tea, if you pop sugar into that, obviously that counts.
Yeah. So maybe 2 teaspoons.
Okay.
Now tea. This is just
and then orange juice. So if you have 150 ml, is that what you've measured out there?
That's about 150 mils of orange juice, a normal small glass.
Yeah, small glass full. And again, that's got 3 teaspoons of sugar in it. So it's all adding up, isn't it?
It is. Right. Shall I add these up?
Yeah, add them up. And obviously, while you're adding that up, I'll just say about jams and marmalades and chocolate spreads. For a teaspoon of each of those is the equivalent of a teaspoon of sugar. How many have you got?
11.
Yeah.
That's 11 in our breakfast without any Nutella or jam or anything else.
Yeah, that's just your small portion of cereal, your glass of juice, your yogurt, and your cup of tea with 2 sugars.
Yeah, that's already more. than an adult would have in a whole day.
That's right. That's right. And so you've already, as you say, you've maxed out, and that's before we have any snacks. And I think we've got some. Well, let's talk about snacks while we're talking about it. So I've got here a popular chocolate bar, and I'm just sort of thinking, well, there's 2 bars in here, and each one has got 4 teaspoons of sugar in. Sorry. So if we were to have one of those each, plus one of those pre-mixed coffees, you know, the sachets that you can get.
Got some of those here. So
okay, excellent.
Types of ready prepared.
Yeah. So there's generally, I mean, it depends on the recipe, but there's generally 2 to 3 teaspoons of sugar in one of those as well. So if we were to share this, and again have one of those cups of coffee, that's our allowance gone for the day. Yeah. And also I've picked up these cans of pop, just small 250 ml tins, and in each of these there's 7 teaspoons of sugar. So again, that's the
in each.
That's the guideline for the adult in one of those small tins.
Wow. So it really doesn't take much, does it, Louise, to exceed the 30 grams or 7 teaspoons of added sugar?
No, it doesn't. And I mean, the truth is that sugar is added to so many of our foods. We tend to think of it, yes, in terms of sweets and chocolates and fizzy drinks and cakes and biscuits and all of those things. But it's also added to, I don't know, let's have a look. We got peanut butter, processed meals, baked beans, pasta sauces. I mean, the list really is endless. So you just have to be mindful, really.
Excellent. How can we then reduce the amount of free sugar we use?
I have 5 tips to share with you today. The first one is about reading the labels, really. Reading the labels on packaged food. And I don't mean the front, which is the sort of the marketing spiel, but what's on the back. So the ingredients, and also the nutritional information. And my rule of thumb is that if there's a really long list, walk away. Or if there's anything on the list that you can't pronounce, then just leave it on the shelf. That's my modus operandum. And also you need to think about sugar. It's got a variety of names. So anything ending in an O's tends to be a sugar. So whether that's glucose, fructose, dextrose, you just need to be mindful that is actually sugar. And also ingredients that could be added, like let's think concentrated apple juice, honey, nectar. Again, they're all sugars. And I've picked these up just as an example. Again, there's something that you might grab for breakfast. But these on the ingredients list, if you look down, it's got sugar, honey, dextrose, and chocolate listed in the ingredients. So it's sugar under its many guises. And one packet of these has got 3 teaspoons of added sugar. So again, it's just looking and reading. Yeah.
Wonderful. So what's your second tip?
Tip number 2 is to switch to low sugar or no sugar versions, really. So again, it's about reading the label just to make sure that no artificial sweetener has been added instead to replace traditional sugar.
Yeah, I've got a juice drink here, and I think this one has some added sugar in it. This has got some sucralose, so that's a sweetener in there. Doesn't have aspartame in, but it does have added fake sugar, I'm afraid I call it. Yeah. And although that hasn't got the calories, actually we know that some of those sugars can spike our blood sugars, can't they? So even though that looks slightly healthier and is from a calorie point of view, it could still have the same effect on our body if we drink it on its own without a meal.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, the research continues into artificial sugars, but as you say, the effect on the body may be just exactly the same, but without the calories. So for number 3, it's to reduce and eventually stop adding the white sugar that we're familiar with to our tea, our coffee, our cereals, our porridge, banana sandwiches, anything else really that you might throw a teaspoon of sugar onto. The 4th one, we touched on this with yogurts really, but low-fat foods usually contain more sugar than the regular version because the manufacturers want things still to taste nice. So I would swap low-fat and fruit yogurts for natural yogurts.
Excellent.
Yeah. And then the final tip is to reduce the amount of processed food in your diet, and by cooking from scratch, it's the best way to really know what you're eating. And I know the website for the Cooking Good project has loads of tasty recipes and is a great resource.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got videos on batch cooking, on cooking foods from scratch, using leftovers, and quick and easy options that aren't going to break your budget, because it's not always cheaper to buy processed food if you do use food really carefully, as you know as well, Louise. So in summary, we really need to be mindful about how much added sugar there is in our daily diet, don't we?
That's right.
We're going to be over and put ourselves more at risk in terms of those health conditions, and to look out for the O's and read the labels, etc. And the good news is we can still have tasty food. That's the most important thing, isn't it? We're not missing out because we don't have sugar in our diet. And as somebody who's cut out a lot of this processed sugar, then something like an apple tastes really sweet when you try an apple.
That's right. That's right.
Once you stop, putting in these very high levels of processed sugar. Yeah. So thank you ever so much, Louise. That was really helpful. Thank you. Look forward to talking to you again.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.